Well, United have gone ahead to ease the pressure, and the players have gone ahead to do it in a very good fashion and style, as Man United have gone ahead to emerge as 3-0 winners away at St. Mary's Stadium in a game of football that never looked going on well for the club of Manchester United. But guess what? Everything really started to move on the best way as Ten Hag wanted it when we went ahead, obviously, kill it off. Welcome to this channel. It's Man United winning its second game of the season, and this is the fourth fixture of Manchester United into the Premier League, as we've gone ahead to win 2 and lost 2, and we now have 6 points in the possible 12 into the mix. And smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see that everything really moves on as planned. Now, the side of Manchester United, having gone ahead to lose to Liverpool 3-0, have gone ahead obviously come and compensate that back with a 3-0 win for the club of Manchester United. And one of the things that you should obviously look at for the club of Manchester United is that we've always suffered that negative goal difference. And you saw to it that last season almost ended with no goal difference. I think we had either -1 or 1 as the goal difference, and that shows you how bad we are really performing. But when you look at Manchester United coming into this game of football and scoring 3 goals, you know, in different fashions altogether, it sends a message to you that something is being worked on. The arrival of Ruud van Nistelrooy has really gone ahead to see to it that we really create loads of magic. And kudos to Matthijs de Ligt, kudos to Marcus Rashford, kudos to Alejandro Garnacho, Amad Diallo, and every player that stepped up, obviously give this game, this win to the club of Manchester United. I know most people came in and they're like, you know, no, not most people. Pundits were like, a lot of pressure on Erik Ten Hag. But I tell you, sometimes there are certain things you fail to get right. And it's the same thing that has gone ahead to affect Southampton, that affected Manchester United in that game of Liverpool. You remember, we had the best chances in the first half and we failed to kill them off. You remember that very well. And when Liverpool got theirs, they obviously became out to be clinical. Now, every time you fail to be clinical and you can't keep a clean sheet, obviously you are going to lose that game of football. It has been the same story, because for the first 25 minutes, I tell you, for the first 25 minutes, I tell you, United were, I think it was for the first 30, you know, sorry, for the first 31 minutes, United was looking horrible. And I never had internet. That's why I never came up and obviously do what we call a match day live. But in my mind, I was like, Erik Ten Hag is costing himself a game. Do you know why? How do you start Eriksen into that midfield? You know, I faulted that immediately, because starting Eriksen in that midfield, I would rather start Casemiro. That is it. Because you saw to it that that team lacked balance, and you saw to it that however much we had Lisandro Martinez and Matthijs de Ligt, players that you can trust on playing a high line, because they did it against Liverpool, they couldn't play high line because Erik Ten Hag was like, we needed to see our defense or our midfield play next to our defense, because we need to eat that. We never had a CDM that could shield that back four. You understand? And that is something that Erik Ten Hag went ahead to do wrong. And Erik Ten Hag is a stubborn guy, and you might find out that even on the weekend, he might go in for the same starting 11, sorry, for the same double pivot, something that I hate to see in the entirety of my life, because something that is wrong, if it works out once, that doesn't mean that it's right, as even a dead clock is always right at a certain point when the hour clock and the minute clock, you know, lock in a certain period of time. Let me say it's 4 p.m. It can be wrong throughout. It can be wrong throughout the other hours, but when it clocks 4 p.m., it can be right. And that is a moment where the clock was wrong for Eriksen to start into that midfield alongside Kobe Mainoo, and it was really very, very harassing for the club of Manchester United. I was really pissed off, and I was like, Erik Ten Hag, you are doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. That was something stupid from the gaffer. I never went ahead to obviously feel like we are safe, none for a second in that game of football. Not until we really went ahead to break them. But Southampton was all of us. Onana went ahead to obviously put in a very beautiful save. You remember, before the penalty, that is the game changer. We can all admit it's the game changer. You remember when that boy who was really taking on Dalo and cooked him left, right, and center like a turkey in that game, went ahead to obviously go in for a far post effort, and Onana went ahead to obviously punch it out of our goal area. Then the other one, who was the boy cooking Dalo, but Dalo found himself in a position of really feeling like the boy was going to hit obviously put in a long pass, and maybe Lisandro Martinez could come up and obviously do the needful. But guess what happened? Lisandro Martinez also never read what Dalo's situation was, and the boy cut inside, went in for a teasing cross, and guess what? Matthijs de Ligt went ahead to clear it off the line, before the striker, that is Archer of Southampton, went ahead to find himself in a position of obviously meeting it. And if you remember the goal of Brighton, you know, Harry Maguire failed to clear the ball that today Matthijs de Ligt cleared. And most of you are slating us and say, you people are really having an agenda on Harry Maguire. Why are you really pinning him? I was like, thank God the same scenario has gone ahead to occur in a different game altogether. You get? And the same scenario occurring in a different game altogether has come up to give us the best of the best that we deserve in here as a side of Manchester United. And that's what De Ligt gets you. That's why in the title there is Matthijs de Ligt Masterclass, because that's what he does. And when you look at the number of times that's going to hit to save us, nobody is going to hit to win more Elliot duels in that pitch when attacked than Matthijs de Ligt. And that's what we call a formidable signing into the mix. And we are performing like that without the likes of Lenny Yoro. And imagine how Man United is going to be looking if the likes of Lenny Yoro are really going to be here. We had a worst half hour mark, but guess what? In the next 15 minutes that led to the end of the first half, United went ahead obviously put in a very good shift. And there is a journalist I've gone ahead obviously like when he came out and really said that most of the times we've always said that it has been a game of two halves. Now on this occasion it has been a game of two first halves. You know, Southampton dominated everything for like 30 minutes, but Man United from nowhere, we stepped in and went ahead to put in a required shift altogether, and we went ahead to score a very beautiful goal coming in through from Matthijs de Ligt. You know that very well. And after that Matthijs de Ligt header, we went ahead to obviously put in a very big shift altogether. And when you look at that goal coming in through, you obviously have to really give the man his flowers. That is Amad Diallo. You saw to it that going forward, no player looked better than Amad Diallo into that entire game. Let's all admit, no player looked better into that game than Amad Diallo going forward. Him and Zexi looks like they read each other's move. They read each other's move like a book, and they know what to do. They know exactly what to put in. And when you look at the build-up of this goal, it's what excited me. And remember, we've gone ahead to score 2 goals from set pieces. The first 2 goals all came in through from set pieces. You remember, United gets a set piece. You know, I think it's Dalo. Was it Dalo? I don't know who really led to this set piece of a corner. But look, Eriksson goes for a short corner to find Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes takes his time. Look at what he does. Look at what he does. He really scans. After scanning, he knows that a player has to be here. And this is Zexi, and this is Matthijs de Ligt. A ball that is really teasing is put in here, and Matthijs de Ligt heads that all meets it and heads it beautifully into the back of the net to give United that well-deserved win. And that is what Manchester United is doing different. Remember, we brought in a new set-piece coach, and I'm now seeing what the set-piece coach is really doing. And the beauty of Matthijs de Ligt is he doesn't rush to go into the mixer. And you saw to it that we've been doing this with Casemiro on several occasions, but Casemiro has always gone ahead to have one problem. he rushes to go into the mixer. That is the problem with Casemiro. He rushes to go into the mixer. But you look at Matthijs de Ligt, he's like, all right, I have to beat this line of the last man of Southampton, but thank God there is a player of Southampton, you see, seated in there to play the entire players of Manchester United onside. You know, sometimes when you see such a goal, you have to obviously come out and ask yourself, the person that has headed it, has he been onside? And obviously, he was onside and he headed it into the back of the net. For Matthijs de Ligt, what a way to come from a very horrible, I can call it, what a way coming in from a horrible international break. You remember international break, in 2 games he costed Netherlands. He went ahead to cost Netherlands 2 goals in 2 consecutive games, and this is where he came up and obviously showed that he has a very huge mentality. And this is what we're always going to let you know, that when you get in players like Matthijs de Ligt, who have been seasonal winners and perennial winners, they are not going to come in here and obviously say, all right, I went ahead to concede 2 goals, and he goes ahead to mourn. He won't obviously go ahead to mourn. You know, he won't mourn. He will not mourn. He'll continue to put in the required shift altogether as a player known as Matthijs de Ligt. And that's the mentality we want. That's the reaction we want. That every time you really go ahead to have a bad day in office, you obviously have to come in and really rectify it and look better and better and better as a player. In the 34th, you know, all 35th minute, Matthijs de Ligt went ahead to put us ahead. And this is what you would want to get at Manchester United. And before this goal came in through, we have to give Onana his flowers. That's because Onana fled in and went ahead to save a penalty. You get? Onana saved a penalty for Manchester United, and Dalot was the culprit. And today, Dalot was cooked left, right, and center. My mates, Dalot was cooked, as you see there, and he really slid in and made a very stupid tackle. And I was like, why did he have to obviously go ahead and really do this? Let him go, you know. But one will say, you never know. If at all he went there, would have gone to put in a cutback, and maybe it would have gone ahead to get a goal. But trust me, I would rather let this guy go than us conceding a penalty, because we all know to it that a penalty has like 1% chance of not going in and 99% chances of really crossing the line. So that really looks horrible for the side of Manchester United, and Dalot really had a very bad game. He was cooked and roasted like a turkey by this young lad who came in through and really put him into the mixer. But surprisingly, after United went ahead to obviously put in the required shift all possible, and we had close to, after really scoring the first goal and the second one, the guy and Southampton were nowhere to be seen. It was like United had gone ahead to obviously get water, all ice, and pour it onto the flames, and the flames really went off. You understand? So Dalot looked horrible, and after Dalot did that, guess what happened? Onana found himself in a position of really saving the day for the club of Manchester United. And I know would have gone ahead to come and really win this game of football, but it would have gone ahead to become more hard for us to win this game of football if at all Onana doesn't save that penalty, guys. If he doesn't save that penalty, we are really getting from climbing a molehill to climbing a mountain. You understand? And that's what Onana did and saved us. And kudos for him. And this clean sheet has his entire name written onto it. As you see there, Onana saving United. And 2.5 minutes later, after United was saved by Onana, that's when Matthijs de Ligt goes ahead to obviously get us the lead, and United went ahead to obviously find themselves in the leading position, and that is something great for the club of Manchester United. Then United was like, all right, 6 minutes later, let's obviously orchestrate out something from a set piece again. And guess what again? United does the needful, you know. And how does that goal come into action? This was what I was telling you about Amad Diallo. These are things that these are things that Anthony has been failing to do for the club of Manchester United. Look at this. This is Marcus Rashford. You understand? Rashford was released. It was really a very good counter, and Amad Diallo had 2 bodies here, Bruno Fernandes and Joshua Zexi and said, no way, I'm really going to find myself in the position of really releasing a player in the side. Let me obviously go ahead and really play in Marcus Rashford. And when he played in Marcus Rashford, guess what happened? Rashford went for the near post shot, saved by Ramsdale. After Ramsdale saved that ball, we got a corner. And in the due course of getting a corner, obviously, that set piece came in from the side. It was dropped into the mixer, and Amad Diallo ran to this area. When Amad approached this area, he obviously found himself in really giving Marcus Rashford the ball, and Marcus Rashford curled that ball with some good technique into the back of the net. And guess what? It resulted into the goal for the club of Manchester United. And United was all over the pitch. And I really loved everything that we put out tonight, because for Rashford, he had gone, I think, 13 games without scoring for the club of Manchester United. And I think he had last scored for Manchester United in March, if I'm not really mistaken. So, for Marcus Rashford, this should act as a wake-up call that he is really the man to come on and obviously take us to where we deserve to be. And I know very many people believe in him, but as I've already told you, he's really one of those players that will not be that star boy. Because if you have to be the star boy of the team, you have to be very consistent. You have to be very consistent. For Marcus Rashford, he's not consistent. Last season he was off, and you never know this season he might come up with a very big bang. And today he has found himself registering his first goal of the season, having gone ahead to miss out on very many opportunities, but he has really done a very beautiful goal. You know, sometimes you just need a moment like that. And that's how he obviously curled that ball, and it went to the back of the net to make it 2-0 for the man himself, known as Ramsdale. He couldn't obviously come in through to saving that ball, and it really crossed the line, and it had to kiss the inside post, and it went to the back of the net. He guided it very well. And remember, Matthijs de Ligt played a very huge role into this goal. He obstructed the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper couldn't obviously see the flight line of the ball, and Aaron Ramsdale couldn't obviously get that ball. So De Ligt played a very beautiful role, and this guy again played him onside. You get? If De Ligt was onside, then that goal wouldn't have stood, because VAR would be like, De Ligt, you've gone ahead to do what you're not supposed to be doing, and that's a foul in the game. But Marcus Rashford did what he had to do. And let's talk about Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo has bagged himself an assist, and that is 1 goal and 1 assist in this season. Remember, he scored against Brighton, the leveler, and then today he has gone ahead to put in an assist for the man himself, known as Marcus Rashford. And that is the beauty of Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo is a very brilliant player. You've gone ahead to see it that every time you're having him on that side, he holds onto that ball a lot and invites his fellow players. He's unpredictable, you know. Sometimes he can go to the byline, sometimes he can go for the shot, he can go in for an inviting cross, he can obviously wait and release a player. And that byline is not his game. You know, like Anthony, he runs, he drifts inside, and obviously goes ahead, obviously go in for a curling shot. That is not the game of Amad Diallo. And Amad Diallo is proving everyone right. And if at all you watched me last season, doing match reaction was like, Amad Diallo's time is coming. And when it comes, Amad is really going to be the guy, and is really going to be doing the needful. Now, when you look at the sequence of events and how they obviously occurred, in the 33rd minute, Onana denies Southampton from the spot. 2 minutes later, in the 35th minute, Matthijs de Ligt puts United ahead. And in the 41st minute, Marcus Rashford adds another one. Now, the last goal has been all about Alejandro Garnacho. And if at all you watch that goal, you'll obviously agree with me that Casemiro played a very, 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 very beautiful role into that goal. You saw to it that Manchester United was really playing well, as the team had gone ahead obviously get a red card, and the way Casemiro finds a pass towards the byline, and he reads that run of Diallo very well, was really good. And Casemiro looks like he has to acknowledge himself and has shown us exactly what he's all about. And Dalot put in a very good cutback, and Garnacho went ahead to obviously finish that ball, or put that ball into the back of the net. That's the beauty of a game like this. And I really love everything I've gone ahead to see. And sometimes these are the moments you need to obviously turn out yourself to be that team. You know, I've gone ahead to hear the commentator coming out and really claiming that this might be a springboard for the club of Manchester United to bounce back, and I was like, he's right. He's right. If there is a springboard that you need as the club of Manchester United, it has to be this one. It has to be this one. And United are flying high like a kite. And I believe that this game of football and this win will obviously take us into another set of events. It's another set of games. Like on Tuesday, we are going to be playing against Barnsley at Old Trafford, and then the other people will come in through. But the other positives, a clean sheet. And Onana is going to have to keep a clean sheet away from home, and this is our first clean sheet we're going to have to keep away from home as a side of Manchester United, and it will need us to really do more and more and more and more in such encounters to really give United the best of performances that we really deserve. And that is another positive. And then Amad Diallo with an assist. Diego Dalot with an assist, you understand, and Bruno Fernandes with an assist. If I told you love Bruno Fernandes and you really see what he's doing today, he was so wasteful for me because sometimes he went in for uncalled for shots and those Hollywood passes, going down and really pretending that they're going to hit, obviously foul him. You know, I think that's not him. You know, we need to be doing better, you know, but him getting an assist has been something great for him because that's the trademark. Oh, that's the trump card of his game. And when you see to it that he's really getting in those assists, that is something great. And for the club of Manchester United, we haven't found ourselves in a position of really putting in very many assists, you know, for getting in players that are really doing assists a lot. You know, we need to see to it that we really have a player who can really put in like 15 assists this season. And at the look of things, I believe that Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo can really hit that mark, like of getting close to 10 plus assists in the Premier League only this season. When you look at Amad Diallo, he's unselfish and he really looks out for very many people into the mix. And after that, I would love to obviously thank everyone who has gone ahead obviously be into this game and really sit in and really watch this game of football very well. And I'm having very many of you really flocking into the comment section, and I'm like, oh my God, you people are really doing great. Now, Kobe Mainoo, something worrying about him, 3 yellow cards in 4 games, meaning that in the next how many games? In the next 6 games, if he gets 2 yellow cards, he's gonna miss out on a game. And I think that has been brought about him not playing alongside Manuel Ugarte. You understand? Him not playing alongside Manuel Ugarte is worrying for me. You know, I would love to see this guy playing against Manuel Ugarte, and you saw to it that he showed us his attributes going in front when Ugarte came on. When Ugarte came on, Kobe Mainoo had the relief because Ugarte was like, I can control and patrol this entire area, please go ahead and do the needful. And you saw to it that he was now more comfortable, and this is the formidable shape of United that we should be looking at to get into the next game of Crystal Palace. And I know this is going to be our ideal double pivot as far as this beautiful game of football is really concerned. And for Manuel Ugarte, I think that should be a video, but let me really give you the hints and snippets. You saw on 3 occasions, first and foremost, United loses the ball in the attack. You understand? Southampton tries to counter-attack us, but the way Manuel Ugarte came in through and obviously put in that tackle, you know, that was the first tackle he made and won. Then the other one was a set piece, and Southampton were trying to obviously attack us, but just 2 feet past the 18 yards box area, you know, on, I think it was on the right inside tunnel, Ugarte blocks that ball and wins it and plays in Alejandro Garnacho. That is the beauty of that player, things that Casemiro can't do, you know, and this man has shown us that he can come in through and really do these things for the club of Manchester United. And for a very long period of time, we've come out on several occasions and called in for such things. And these are the things that we've gone ahead to call in for, and the people have gone ahead to do them. And that's what Manuel Ugarte brings into our game. 20 minutes played. I'm going to be bringing you his game by numbers in the player ratings that are going to be coming through an hour from now. But it has been something great. But remember, if you feel like you want to contribute to the studio that you want to build because you want to build a new studio, go ahead and obviously ask me my number. I get you my number and you can really send something. If at all you feel like you want to really do the needful and really support in the building of our studio, go ahead and obviously do the needful. It's +256 70 99, sorry, +256 703 244 292. That is the number if at all you feel like you have a contribution to put in into the mix. Now, before I really go into your comments and read them and really react to them, we obviously have to go into what we call the stats of the game. The stats of the game, and this is how we really looked as the club of Manchester United. Southampton had 6 shots. United had 20. And by the way, talking about shots, in the first half only we had 11 shots. 11. And I think in the past 5 years, United hadn't gone ahead to register 11 shots at the goal of the opponent. You understand? Then 4 shots on target by Southampton. United had 10 shots. This is what I've always gone ahead to let you know, that every time you register half of the total shots on targets, this is what you get. You'll obviously kill off these ones. You understand? You'll get a chance to obviously kill off such things. Possession, Southampton had 43%, United had 57%. And we had all that with Manuel Ugarte coming in through, playing only and only those minutes. You understand? So Manchester United has really found themselves in a position United have found themselves in a situation of really winning the percentage, and looks like everything positive has been going to the hands of Manchester United. Then 465 passes completed by Southampton, 606 passes completed by Manchester United, 87% passing accuracy by Southampton. Man United had 90% of the passing accuracy, 11 fouls by Southampton, United had 14, 1 yellow card to Southampton and 4 yellow cards to the club of Manchester United. And I believe that Eriksson, Bruno Fernandes, Mainu, I think for Mainu it was really harsh. I think it was brought down and then he felt like it was a foul for him and really got hold of the ball, and the manager was, and the referee was like, you deserve a yellow card because you stopped action to flow. And the 4th went to Harry Maguire, and that Harry Maguire was really stupid. But the most important thing is that us getting in these 3 goals, but I think some yellow cards should obviously be prevented. And 1 red card to the side of Southampton and no red card to the club of Manchester United. At a certain point, I felt like Erik ten Hag should obviously take off Kobe Mainoo, because Kobe Mainoo was in a yellow card and went ahead obviously commit a foul, and the referee never really flashed another yellow card. And I was really surprised when they took off Eriksson, you know, but the manager got it right there. Erik ten Hag got it right, because he kept on Kobe Mainoo, risked him through the game and played 90 minutes. And I think he was like, I want some 20 minutes of Kobe Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte playing together, you know. And he knows to it that in the midweek you're going to be playing against Barnsley, and I think he's really going to get them some 20-30 minutes together and see how things are really going to pan out. So he got it right there. 0 offsides to both sides, and 0 corners to Southampton, 7 corners to the club of Manchester United. And if you are a threat in the set pieces, then we should continue to get more and more in this game. And looks like we've gone ahead to factor out the needful. When you look at the table, we are having Man City 3 games, 9 points. Liverpool 9 points in 3 games, and Manchester United has moved from 14th to 7th, and we are having 6 points. You understand? But you see to it that Aston Villa has to play, Bournemouth has to play. I mean, look at all these teams, you know, we might find ourselves sliding down to the 10th position, but it's all about us continuing to win our games. But I think with how many goals scored now, we've gone ahead to score, I think, 5. We've conceded 4, and we've gone ahead to obviously have 1. It's like 1 as the goal difference for the club of Manchester United. Oh, we've conceded 5 and we've scored 5, right? And it's a goal difference of 0. I think we can really benchmark onto that. And in the next game in the Premier League against Crystal Palace, we should be more lethal and more dangerous as we keep these clean sheets. With these clean sheets really coming through, United will obviously go ahead and really do the needful. And now let me head into your comment sections. Bwambale Godfrey, hello already. Good evening. Congratulations to Manchester United. All right, congratulations. Then Alfred Kenny, Niyibigira. Bruno was down today but stepped up. It will be good. Yeah. And obviously, coming from the national break, you are playing for a different team, and the different team is really playing different tactics. And you come in here, and the team is playing different tactics altogether. So those 2 weeks away from the tactics of Erik ten Hag to the tactics of the national break obviously makes it hard for us to play to win. And this being an early kickstarter, you know how early kickstarters really are hard for teams to win. You understand? Very many teams have gone here to struggle to win these early kickstarters. So that's a very huge positive for the club of Manchester United, and coming through and really winning the game is really very important. Emmanuel Nuerewo, glory Man United. Joel Mulea, well done United, keep the spirit of winning. Silva, already I'm so happy for the win. What was the problem of Martinez, Mazrui and De Ligt are injured? They are not. But it was a precaution, because for Lisandro Martinez, they were like, before really getting on another player, Erik ten Hag first asked him, and he was like, I'm okay. But I think they felt like Lisandro Martinez, with the character of the player that he has, he doesn't really want to get off the field of play. And they are like, let's do the needful and really get him off. And for Matthijs de Ligt, he has come out after the game and said, I'm okay, I'm not injured. And even Mazrui is very, very okay. And I think Mazrui is one of those players that is going to be starting into the game on Tuesday. That's why the manager really benched him as a right back. And I think Amad is obviously going to find himself into that starting position. Then Silva says, I like the way Amad Diallo was playing. The guy was so direct. Yeah, that's what this guy gets you. He's a different kind of player altogether. And for everyone who doesn't believe in him, he needs to come out and really get to know that the guy is the player. There was a clique of United fans who were like, let's get in Olise because he's a proven talent and he's better than Amad Diallo. And I was like, why do you judge a player who hasn't gone ahead to obviously play 30 games in a United shirt in a single season? So this season, towards the end of last season, he showed us some cameos of what he can be. And now it's from flashes to what we call full 90-minute plays for Amad Diallo, and he's really that kind of player that keeps us going and going and going as a club of Manchester United. So Amad is a very good player. Then Fred says, let them maintain the spirit here. Patrick Simpungwe, wonderful guys. You did a great job, but you should put more effort so that we win more trophies. All right. Isabel Ronald Molinda, hey RD, just need to cool off his pressure. All will be well. No, I think Ten Hag is not on pressure, but one thing I like about him is that he's a principled guy. He can come in through and really gives you all the time you need at Manchester United, like Anthony, and we really went ahead to bash him. But when he really gets you out of his plans, you are out. Look at Casemiro. Looks like he's not going to be starting in any Premier League game, you know? So he gives you the chances, and it's you to misuse the chances. That is it. But I don't think he has pressure on him. He's really okay. Then Silva Onyait Aradi, you please talk about Bruno in that game. What was his problem? You know, sometimes you look at Bruno Fernandes and you're like, is he a leader? But sometimes you give him a benefit of doubt because he surprises us. And today he really went ahead to really create a chance for the first goal, and it was the most important goal because after Southampton missed a penalty, that's where you have to react. It was like a wake-up call that United wake up, you are losing the game. And you saw to it that after the penalty, United put in another gear and Bruno really unleashed a player called Matthijs de Ligt, and we scored. So for me, that was the most important bit of it all, that we came in through and represented and went ahead, obviously, win. Then, Chizoba, I'm so happy today. Moses says, Bro Mazuru with delete. They are okay. They are okay. Unless otherwise, they are really injured. But I think they just had knocks and it was a precaution. Like, let us not really play them a lot, you know, and risk them. And that is okay because of the very many players we are having on the bench. You understand? And that's why the manager doesn't want to rush back a player called Rasmus Højlund and Luke Shaw and Malacia, because he believes that he has all what it takes to really win games, as these players really prepare themselves for the next kind of games that are really going to be coming through thick and fast. Delete was the best in the game, but guys, don't forget to talk about Mazrui. Mazrui was also great. By the way, the entire back four was really great apart from Dallo, you know. But Dallo also, towards the end of the game, exonerated himself with that assist to a man known as Alejandro Garnacho. You understand? Then Bijura Prita, but Dallo later picked after his penalty save by Onana. Dallo should be the one playing on the right side because he gives us on that side. I just can't wait to have Malacia and Luke Shaw back. I just can't wait. I just can't wait to have those players back, because I know exactly what it means to have them onto the pitch, you know. I know what it means to have them, you know. I would love to see Dallo and Mazrui battling it for the right back, and then Luke Shaw and Malacia battling in for the left back positions at the club of Manchester United. That will be my joy. That is it. That has been Bijuda Prita. Kakuro Ivan, is it true that these players picked up some injuries? The answer is no. Brian O'Willy, Mr. Rokani, I'm happy with everything today. Thanks for all the fun. All right, thank you. Then Oburu Emmanuel, they really try to nay. Big up to our boys, but Ten Hag has to adjust on the team selection. And now, I think today, starting with Eriksen ahead of Casemiro is a confirmation that Erik Ten Hag cannot trust Casemiro anymore. You know, even when he took off Eriksen, he was like, I'm getting in Manuel Ugarte to get in my minutes because I know he is the midfielder I've always gone ahead to want, and I've gone ahead to get him. So there is no reason as to why I should stick with you, Casemiro. And it looks like he was not willing to bring Casemiro onto the field of play. That is it. He was not willing to bring Casemiro on the field of play, but it was because all not risking Matthijs de Ligt, and it was like, Matthijs de Ligt, my boy, get off. However much you say you're willing, you're feeling okay, come off the pitch, and then let's get in Casemiro. But you see how things happen when you're really having two good defenders into that central defense, Lisandro Martinez and Matthijs de Ligt. They went ahead to put in a very big show, and I tell you what, United is really doing the needful, and we are cruising into the best way possible, and Manchester United is really doing the due diligence into the mix. Now, there are key numbers from that game of football, and I think I'm going to come up with them after, as we are doing what we call the player ratings, to see to it that you people coming through and do the needful. So we've got ahead to move up to the 6th position as a club of Manchester United, as far as the Premier League table is really looking right about now. So we are here to see how things are really going to be panning out later into other games, but other teams are already in action and they're really playing into the mix. Man City has gone ahead to concede. I can really confirm to you that Man City has really gone ahead to concede, and they're really trailing by a goal down. That is the side of Man City. Brentford is ahead, and Brentford has also gone ahead to score, and in the 3rd position in there for you, and Man City is really struggling as far as things really stand. Nottingham Forest is still 0-0, and as far as it stands, Nottingham has gone ahead, obviously getting the 7th position, but I believe Nottingham is really going to be losing their game against the side of Liverpool. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David has been my name, and hope you guys are really great. I'm having Christopher Wisdom, good performance, expecting more performances. Yeah, we are really going to be doing better, I tell you. Man United is really going to be performing better, but for me, a clean sheet The substitutions were on point. The referee did a very wonderful job. That red card was really necessary because you cannot go high onto a player like that who was going to hate to beat you. And Garnacho really came on through and really made things happen. But for Alejandro Garnacho, I think he needs also to up his game. I tell you that the end product to his game is really lacking. Look at what Amad is doing. And the manager feels not okay to really do the needful of really getting Amad Diallo. You get? Getting Amad Diallo off the pitch, because he knows to it that he's the only player that will always decompose himself and obviously create something, you know? And he doesn't really be like Anthony, play onto the line. He is really a very good player. He can skip past players and he can really do what we call the selfless actions in there for you. And as I sign out, Man City have gone ahead to equalize. Kevin De Bruyne looking out for Erling Haaland, and Erling Haaland has gone ahead to level up the game. It's now 1-1. Your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers on this channel. It has been Rock and David onto this channel. I'm out for now. See you later, and good evening for now. Returning in an hour's time with the player ratings for this.